Hello, I'm Edward Haletky from the virtualization practice, a virtualization security analyst, and a 6-year vExpert, and today I'm going to talk about vCNS DMZs with LogInsight. Now, in a previous talk, which you can see on wherever vBrownbag it has them, probably YouTube and everywhere else, you will be able to see I did a talk on using content packs with vCNS and vCenter. This is a follow-on to that. I needed more data into my content pack, specifically what was happening on the edge of my DMZ. Does this work? This does not work.
It's a good place to start.
On, yes. So this is my network, and this one's been seen before. And this is specifically for VMware View, but it could also work for Zen Desktop or any DMZ you have out there. What you see in purple over here, this vCNS View Edge, it has an internal IP address that goes to my LogInsight network. LogInsight. However, the one that's sitting on the edge between the outside and the inside has no internal to no way to get inside. It's a complete firewall, completely segregated from the inside of my network. Because of that, I have to do some funny stuff in order to get its logging, its syslog logging into my network. Right? Of course. So internally, it's really easy. I bring up vCNS Edge or my vShield manager, go into my DMZ, hit change, and I set the syslog server to be an internal IP address, which I did not give you, because this is my real environment. And I can get some nice graphs that say DMZ, and you can see them all over the place. That's the internal side. That's easy, trivial. Everybody can do that. However, this one right here is a little bit more trickier. You have to do some more stuff. So how would I normally do that? Well, I could plumb a route and say for this IP address, we actually plumb it all the way through doing source NAT, destination NAT, a routing table, say go to LogInsight. I personally didn't want to do that. The reason being is that opens up a really big hole from the outside going directly into my network. The internal network, I felt uncomfortable. It's actually even worse than that. It's non-trivial when using vCNS Edge. You have to have like 6 SNAT rules and a bunch of routing rules specifically for IP addresses, and it becomes a real nightmare. And I like simple. I don't like complex firewalls, because if I have a complex firewall, if I have to manage it and change it, I have to think about all those complexities. I like simple, straightforward rule sets. This would not be simple or straightforward. So instead, there's another way you can do that, is to find a syslog forwarder. You can create one, you can find a number of them, and all that. And actually, that's the better way. So inside of my environment, I have a View security server running on Windows, because it's View, and I could put a syslog forwarder directly on that one VM, or I could put a syslog forwarder on top of another VM. I can make one out of Linux, I can get some software to do it, and running on Windows, whatever. However, if I have more than one, now this also gives me another advantage. I can actually have my View security server talking to the syslog forwarder, so I can get even more data. So what I did is I add the syslog forwarder to my View security server. I kind of want to have less of a footprint, so I thought about having it. I only have one VM in this DMZ, literally just one. It's a security server. It's the only thing that belongs there. I have another firewall for everything else. This is purely just for View. So I actually chose this one for Manage Engine. It's free, which is a benefit. It installs easily. You just point it to your LogInsight server, and yes, that's the pointing to my LogInsight server, and it forwards all my syslogs. That's not enough. I actually have to go into vCNS vShield Manager one more time and set up the syslog server. I need to change it and set it up to point to the IP of the syslog forwarder. Otherwise, it goes nowhere. Once I have that, I have these new rules showing up. Remember, I set these up before. I'm getting drop and accepts on my external edge firewall. So now what happens is I can tell when someone's trying to hit my edge firewall to try to get into my view environment who should not be there. Which is really kind of nice because now I have both of my firewalls reporting to me saying, hey, I got some good stuff, I got some bad stuff. And I also, it's funny, is I actually only allow view. So if something else is trying to hit me through a denial of service that isn't talking to my PC over IP ports, I'm going to catch it now because everything's deny here, which is exactly what you want. This is actually part of a content pack that I talked about before. You can find that on the vBrownbag. And now I have a drops accepts for my 1, which is actually my external firewall's IP address, which is kind of nice. I also have my internal firewall, as we know. That's easy. So to be honest, it's actually fairly simple to do this. You just need a syslog forwarder. But now I can be more creative to capture things that in my content packs purely about my edge, my external, where before I could not. You would think with all vShield Manager and vCNS managers that I could actually redirect through it. No. It's a management plane, it's a control plane. I can't send data through it. I have to force the data to go through normal networking paths. It's the key to remember. Any questions? No? Thank you.